party people? It is your girl, T. Tyler. It's Friday night, and the living is easy here where I am. I don't know about you, but it's a good night tonight. I'm okay with it. So we have yet another big show for you tonight. I don't normally do this because I get too upset, but tonight we're going to have on a noted Republican who jumped the aisle. He was a Democrat, but decided to take his talents to the other side of the aisle, and that's Mr. Oliver McGee. Tonight will be on the show. So, but yes, he is a researcher, an author, and a new Republican, also a contributor on Fox News. And he wrote a book. He authored a book called Jumping the Aisle, How I Became a Black Republican in the Age of Obama. So please welcome with me Mr. Oliver McGee. Hello, sir.
Hello.
I'm sorry I didn't get all of your titles in there, but because you're very accomplished, and I am impressed by your resume. But I do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
May I call you Tanya?
Oh, please do. Can I call you Oliver?
Yes, you can.
I thought you were going to say no. And I'd like to introduce you to Tree Dot, who is my co-host for the night.
I saw it on the flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
Did you see his shape-up line? Because I got so many emails about his shape-up line around his hairline. So, but now I want to talk to you about you jumping the aisle.
Sure.
Now, I know you received a lot of flack from it, but I want to ask you why you decided to take your talents to the other side of the aisle.
Well, first of all, you'd be very surprised that I'm not getting a lot of flack.
No.
Not at all.
Okay.
In fact, deep down, when I talk to my brothers and sisters, they say, good for you, my brother, because in a way, and the way I see it, is we're respecting more of Obama because we're putting him in a time dimension. This is about the Obama era. This is about the age of Obama. This book is not one of the many boring, non-substantive books out there that say, I hate Obama and everything he represents. Not at all.
So you don't believe he was born a Muslim, raised in a madrasa, he's a secret Muslim, born in Kenya, and that he's the Antichrist?
Why would I do that?
Okay. I just wanted to know what kind of Republican I'm talking to.
This book is about looking at how African Americans made history by having the first black president of the United States, and then how scholars like myself have to do real scholarship on the historic presidency. And more importantly, I decided to take the book and take the Obama presidency and put it into an era, the Obama era. You'll see me use that wording throughout the book, and the age of Obama. Now, I decided to use the Obama era because I didn't want to copy Bill O'Reilly, who uses the age of Obama. But when you think about taking the first black president of the United States and put it into a time era, a time dimension, that's the ultimate respect of the presidency. What this book is really about is, what are we going to be doing through, at the beginning of the Obama era, through the Obama era, now through the Obama era second term, and more importantly, jumping the aisle is a play card going forward for not only the black community, but Latinos, women, the American electorate as it evolves in the post-Obama era. When Obama is not on the ticket in 2016, what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
In 2008, Obama got 95% of the African-American vote. In 2012, we decided to penalize him a little bit because we weren't quite satisfied with the unemployment, the rise in poverty, some of the issues about health concerns and things that we have in our community. Our schools are rotting. They're not getting better. Race to the bottom, race to the top, race forward, race backwards, race in, out. We still have schools that are not teaching African-American men that are not graduating from high school.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave them a 2% penalty and came to the polls for 93%. So that's some serious loyalty from the African-American community for the Obama era and its history that it represents. But when Obama is not on the ticket in 2016, what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Stay home?
No,
The book is really articulating, is it time for the black community and our institutions, our families, our churches, our schools, our universities, our corporations and small businesses that we have? How many black bankers do we have in major cities? And also what we're doing in philanthropy. When we move beyond that era into 2016 and further in the post-Obama era, what's going to happen to our institutions and what is going to be happening to our social, technological, economic, and political steps forward on those issues? And are we going to be at the policy table when the country does shift right, and it will?
So you think that the country is going to shift right?
Why not? Pendulums go one way, and then they come back. We have to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. But now, you don't think that so let me ask you this. Do you think that it was necessary for the blacks to get so involved and to, really become part of this and to make this historical vote and to make this make Mr. Obama our first African American president?
I not only celebrated. I opened the book describing the moment in which he was elected.
Mm-hmm.
You have to start the Obama era by opening on the fall of November 4th, 2008, and really start talking about what was happening across the American landscape, because that was truly a historic moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to respect history while we're showing the way through hope and change, and get to the third part of the book, which is charting a vision for the future. And I said, let's not just look at 2016. Let's look a little bit further to the next generation and the generation after next, on to 2076, which is America's tercentennial. Because when we get to that place, that's America's tercentennial, a brand new vocabulary, then it's going to be about capital, technology, and competition. That's the three pillars that I'm describing. How much capital we have, what new technologies are we inventing? Infotech, biotech, wireless tech, microtech, nanotech, cognotech, that's brain research, and elder tech. We're getting older, moving people, ideas, and things, and transportation technologies thereof. And finally, is America competitive? And more importantly, within our community, or the constituencies we're talking to tonight, is the black community in its 5 institutions, homes, families, churches, schools, government, corporations, are we competitive?
So let me ask you, do you think that our president is lining us up properly for that? I mean, he is talking about technology. The Republican Party throughout the campaign was kind of taking us back to the 50s, and talking about, old ways of manufacturing or the things that, bringing things back that that we should be kind of letting go and moving on to technology and letting that be the thing that we make now, or looking into energy, letting that be one of the things that we manufacture now. So do you think that he is doing well in setting us up that way? You talked about college and how he now has stated his commitment to retaining the best and the brightest that come here to go to school, and making college more affordable and those kinds of things. Do you think that he will be, when we look back, when we get to 2076, as you said, when we look back, will we say that he did the right thing?
Great question. I think what we're going to be looking at immediately in the second term, with a free Obama era with no constraints on a next election, this is where we'll begin to see the true leadership of the Obama era. Mm-hmm. You're free to govern. Mm-hmm. And let's call the first 4 years a testing ground. I don't want to call it a training ground, because I think President Obama is a very, very smart man, a very brilliant man, and Romney has learned that. So now that we've gotten past the president's brilliance, mm-hmm. he is going to be focusing on what is the legacy. And that legacy, I believe, is going to be more about the things that he has to do in job creation and growth and looking at energy independence, more about the skills development that is necessary, no child left behind, no or race to the top, whatever slogan it may be, we still have to pull the kids forward. And, he's going to be looking and wrestling all the time, as he has to in his presidency, about saving or de-saving Wall Street, because Wall Street and Washington are intricately linked. And more importantly, what he's going to be doing is saving Main Street. Small businesses represent 75% of all the job creation he's ever going to get. So you got to help small businesses. And you got to watch Obamacare, because you dump Obamacare onto the states and the cities, and their books are already insolvent with Medicare and Social Security. Putting more regulations on top of those insolvent books is going to be very, very difficult. And putting those types of constraints on small businesses is just going to basically stop them. They're just going to stop giving jobs. If you have a small business and they got to pay for extra cost of health care, what you do is you start cutting jobs. But finally, he's got to look at what we're doing on the international finance market. So that's why he's going to Asia. That's where he's going to set his legacy. You have to go and figure out what's going on the fiscal cliff so you can go back there and say, hey, we got our financial house in order, but we need to look to the future, and that's in Asia. And this may be the president that may be transformative in that part of the region. But more importantly, he may take some chances and become more transformative in the lone continent, not a country, but a continent called Africa, with a huge amount of resources for the world. Is this going to be the Obama era that transforms how America engages this continent? That remains to be seen.
If Obama goes to Africa, they're going to have a fit.
Well, but he's in his second term, and why is he worried about that?
Don't matter.
Because
now, you sound to me like you like President Obama.
I like the presidency.
I think that you voted for him when you went in that booth and closed that curtain.
Tanya, I like the presidency.
Uh-huh.
I like the survival of the presidency. When I worked in the White House, I understood the institution of the presidency.
Mm-hmm. Now, you worked under President Clinton, correct?
Yes, I worked for President Clinton.
Okay.
We have to get out of the business of failed presidencies. History says, Tanya, that the second term of the presidency is often murky.
Mm-hmm.
Obama has some challenges ahead of him to make sure that the second term of the Obama era is not murky, or we will go back to Tanya's question, look back and say, oh, what we wish we had.